Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
So, Tom, I'm trying to do some things in the background, and that intro is not long enough for me to do the three things I need to do. I can only get 1.5 finished.
Okay, so we need to extend
we need to extend the intro so I can do things. There's some shadowing behind you. There's movement.
Yeah, that's all right. Keep going.
Keep going. You tried to keep going too.
I'm on. I'm good. Did I notice a move or do anything? It was.
I thought we had some distraction there, but so let me get to the topic. We've been talking for the last couple weeks about the R, and just if you're new to this, welcome. That's Tom Brush. I'm Bob Graham. We are two guys that back in March started this broadcast because we were trying to figure out how to make things better for ourselves. And we figured if we got up every morning at 8 a.m., actually it started at 8:30 a.m. if you remember, if we got up every morning and did this, we would actually get up each morning and do this, and that would start our day. And it's grown exponentially from there. And the reason I bring that up, Tom, is that we are on episode 199, which means woohoo, episode 200 is tomorrow, which is amazing to me. But also, we're talking about empowering others with our consistency. And you and I have been consistent with this. We've done this on holidays. We've done this on days when, frankly, I didn't want to get up and do it. We've done it on days when I'm sure you didn't want to get up and do it. We've done it on days when we had conflicts and we did early or later. We recorded it. And through that, we've empowered others to understand more about us and to also share this with other people so they can say, oh, you guys should listen to this program. You should watch this. These guys, whatever. And that consistency of, if you're watching this or listening to this right now or later today, whenever you would, that we're going to be here for you. And that consistency, we know from research, is very soothing and settling to people. We like to think of things as being consistent, especially today when everything is so chaotic and uncertain. We're in Maryland and they've been talking about shutting down. I live in the city. They're shutting down things more. They're talking about hospital issues. We have the politics. We have global issues. We have all these things going down in the world around us that could distract us. And to me, the idea of consistency, that there are certain things that I know are going to be consistent in my life. At 8 a.m. or 8:03 or 8:07 a.m. every morning, I know that I have a date with you and we're going to do this. And that gives me some grounding as I go through my day. And as we empower others, where I think it goes for me, and I'll let you jump in a second, is we've got to be consistent with how we present ourselves. If I describe myself as, I help small businesses today, and then tomorrow I help Fortune 500 companies, and the third day I help hospitals, but only if they have 200 beds or less. After 3 days, you have no idea what I do anymore. And so that consistency in messaging is really important. I kind of went in about 7 directions, Tom. You're really good at bringing us into a focal point. So focus us, shall you? Shall you? That was
an interesting 4.5 minutes.
Do I hit the stop button and start over?
No. Why not? No, I think, it's interesting as you were talking about that. I think you're absolutely right. That we are, the more our message is consistent, I think 2 things happen. One, people better understand it, and they better know how they're moving forward. Same thing with your organization. If your organization keeps shifting, if McDonald's was like, well, we do burgers one day, but the next day, you know what, we're going to do Italian food. And the next day, we're going to do something else. And, I think that those are the challenges when people are like, well, why am I going there? I was going there for a burger, but today they're selling Italian food. And, so now I'm not so sure that this is the place that I want to go to. I think people are very comfortable with consistency and routine. I think there's something beneficial about that. I think, the challenge is we got all out of that for the last 10 months. I think the other thing that's good about consistency that was the first point that hit me was it allows us to perfect or maybe work towards perfection of our messaging. Because it sort of shifts and changes a little bit as we go along. And I think that's, I think about my own business as where it started, what it's progressed to. Initially I thought, okay, I'm just going to help people raise money because that's what I knew and know. And then it was like, okay, well, now I can help people do strategic planning. So I'm a little more overall operational. Yeah, I can coach them a little bit. Then I realized that, well, while coaching nonprofits and working with nonprofits, some of their challenges are similar to small businesses. And so there's another, so you start to morph and, people like to use the word avatar, the group of people that are your ideal clients. It changes and shifts a little bit because you find in that consistency, not only where are your strong points, you also find, where are those things that you like? What's the pieces of it that you're really good at, your product solves a solution for, and that allows you to have stronger messaging, which only empowers others, one, to be advocate for you, or two, to be really clear about why am I going here? Why am I coming to, people I think would say there's a reason they come and watch this show, whether live or afterwards, because we have empowered them to know that they are getting something from this, whatever it might be, and it might be different for different people. So I think that consistency allows us to be clearer and to work towards a better focus as we move along.
I think that's all absolutely true, Tom. I'm going to pop up because I have the power today. A question, and I researched it. It's Carrie who's asking us this question. How do you find people you can trust to work alongside you? And I think that talks about the whole idea of consistency as well. Do you want to take a stab at this one?
Sure. Well, I think, let's look at Bob and I. There are, each of us knows 100 people who we could have decided we were going to do this with. One of the things that I think happened is over the last 10 years, we, through regularly, I don't even know that it was consistent, but we were in connection and in touch, and we, saw each other enough, and and through that connection and relationship, realized that there were things that kind of we held in common, some common beliefs that we had about how, I think how networking starts, how networking is run. That was where it started. Then, what do we look at our business? Then the value of having someone to talk to and talk through some of the challenges that your business has or successes that you can't do alone. And you haven't found someone else who was interested enough, willing enough to really dive into that. So I think it goes back to relationships. And how do you look at what's the end goal that you're trying to accomplish by having someone work alongside you? And who are the people that fill, those things? We could go back to the equation of, you can look at, what do I need to reach my end goal? Do I need somebody who has the exact same knowledge, experience, and perspective? Do I want somebody who's going to complement my knowledge, experience, and perspective? Or do I want somebody who's on the complete other side and believes something a lot different, so that I really have that other voice in what we're trying to do? So I think it really is going to depend, Carrie, on what's your end result? What are you trying to accomplish? And in accomplishing that, What do you think the things are that you need to help that be successful, to continue to move you along your pathway towards that success? So it's going to be different. It's more specific to your own situation. And again, those are great questions for a laser solution session. Because it's one thing for us to do it on, and we can give you our 2 cents, which is what's real for us. What's real for you is if we sat down and had a conversation where, I have 100 questions already from your one question that I could ask you to help clarify, what does this mean? What do you need? You could be saying, hey, I'm really good at this. I need somebody who's good at that. Or I'm really good at this, and this is what's really good for us. I need somebody else like me that shares similar beliefs and practices and styles and skill set to help us continue to push it forward, because I just need another me. There's not enough me's to go around. So I don't know if that answered her question.
Can I jump in with a couple thoughts?
Sure.
One thing is, I think you have to vet people. You and I were vetting people, not that we were looking for a project to do together initially. We were just two guys who had very similar circumstances in different ways, and we could share. And I remember the first time we had lunch or coffee together, and it was like, this guy gets me. Oh my God, I'm not the only person ever to do this. And that was the start of something for me. And then we kept being in similar orbits. And I don't think it's any secret. You can go find it. You're not the first person I've done a podcast with. I did a podcast with someone else for about 6 months. It didn't work real well. It checked the boxes I wanted to check. And I think of web developers. I've worked with a lot of web developers, and one of them is on here, Tim. Tim's the gold standard. I've worked with people that are kind of like silver, and I've worked with some that are like coal. And I think the most important thing is to really vet that person, and they become very important to your business. You and I work together, but you represent our business to a whole group of people. I represent our business to a whole group of people. I have to have confidence. Like with the laser coaching that we do within the Renegade Success Network, sometimes they talk to you, sometimes they talk to me. I've never had anyone who's talked to you not come back and go, wow, you were right. He's really great to talk to. He does see things differently, but I see why you guys work together. No one's ever said, wow, I talked to Tom. You're a buffoon. Tom's so much smarter than you are, or vice versa.
Right.
And I think that's the thing you're trying to look for. And also, I think when we get back to consistency, you have a consistent presence no matter what you do. I know you. I could pick you out of a crowd. You dress the same way. Every networking event, you looked well prepared. You looked like you were serious. You met people. You introduced. You paid attention. When you told me you were going to follow up on things, you followed up. When we were having coffee together, it wasn't like, oh, I'm sorry, Bob, I got to take this call. It was, it's our time together. And those are the things that really matter to me, not so much. And we found where we aligned in terms of our philosophy on business, I think. And then we found the project. It's a lot harder to find the project and then plug the person into that hole. It can be done, but I think the word consistency is the word I would use. Who's consistently been there for you? Who's consistently cared about you more than they're only caring about themselves? Does that help at all, Tom?
Yeah, it does. I think sometimes it just happens naturally as well. I think you gravitate when you're in the right communities. You gravitate towards the people that you feel like think the same way or think aligned like you, or they're just the type of person you want to be around, or it just so happens that you just seem to hit it off for whatever reason. And I think that's part of consistency, is the more you're around a group of people, the more you're going to figure out, like, who are those people who really light you up, who who can talk to you in a way that you can't have conversations with other people, because you've started to develop this relationship. And again, it could be business first, it could be personal first, and then you work towards and continue to refine and modify. Well, does this person meet what I am looking for to accomplish whatever it is I'm trying to accomplish? Some ways it's kind of like a marriage. You date and you see a lot of people, and then at some point you figure out how this person has whatever it is you're looking for, and you have whatever they're looking for, and it comes together. It doesn't always work. Doesn't always work with business. People get together and work together in business, and that they find out either they're too much alike, they're too different, and either they can't modify those differences, or they realize that that's the strength, and that's how then they're able to move forward. So I think
sorry, I just wanted to, we've got lots of comments. I want to make sure we get to them. Carrie said, wow, super good information. That is perfect. Hit the nail on the head. Hey, I like that. Nice. She also followed up with, I'm open to laser coaching. Love it. And that's an offer that's available to anyone. If you haven't done it with us, Tom and I have a mission to help you understand better, not just your business or your career, but also to understand what laser coaching can bring to you. And we have found a formula that works in 15, 20 minutes that really drives results. And it's so powerful, and we are excited to share it with people so they can experience it. I also, Tim had a comment. I said nice things about him, and he said he really appreciated that. Carrie added, guess what? I do not have consistency set up. So there you go. That's a good thing to start thinking about. And then I'm like McDonald's, Tom talked about. One day I have hamburgers, next day Italian food. And one of the things I love about this program, Tom, that's been consistent since we started, is when people start to actually share what's real for them.
Yeah.
And I just love the comments we get and the opportunity to really understand what's going on for people. And when we say something and they reply with, that's me exactly, or I never thought about that before, it's really something to behold. And I think it's because we've been consistent in our messaging and in what we're trying to do here every day. We've never deviated. We've always been clear. We want to help small businesses really have success. I see another couple comments. Tim says those laser coaching sessions are really amazing. Take them up on that offer. That's kind of Tim. That's great. And then I have fire in me. I love my business to the moon and back. People love that in me, and no one goes any further. Help. That's from Carrie. And the word, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I've said enough. I
think the thing about it is that, one of the things I love about this is it has created a community. Because I think there are a lot of small business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of leaders out there who don't have a community, a place where they can go and feel like they can share that information. You're not going out to the world and saying, yeah, I'm not consistent. Nobody's going to share. You're not going to share that with people who you're trying to engage, connect, and show that you have a business that has value and that or a product, or your leadership style is strong. If you're a strong leader, or if you're a leader that has questions about your leadership, you're not going to your team and being like, yeah, I'm just not sure that I'm a really good leader, struggling with it today. Can you help me? I think they'd be like, why are we going to help you lead? You're the one who's getting paid to be the leader. So having this outlet where somebody can come on here and in a very safe space, share, this is where they're at. This is what they're struggling with. And the challenge is finding people who are actually care enough to say, how can I help? What can I do to be different? There are a lot of people out there who could help you. Not everybody is going to be like, yeah, sure. Well, let's talk about it. What does it look like? They're going to be like, well, what are your goals? What's your long-term goals? And how do you make $1 million? And how do you, upsell your business? They're just all those other things. But when you create community where people are open and comfortable, and you're consistent with that it is there, people feel like, okay, this is a place where I can start to really, this group gets me and wants to help. And I think when you find that, that's a very powerful piece of the puzzle of how you move forward. Because I know we've talked about this before. Doing this alone is hard. If I was trying to do this 199 days alone, it would be difficult. But having somebody else there to have a conversation, engage with, connect, who is going to bring a different perspective, adds all the value in the world and makes it.
And to hold accountable. You know,
True.
there's an accountability factor that, you know, I'm going to be there at 8 o'clock and I know you're going to be there at 8 o'clock, which makes me get out of bed and be ready.
Right.
And I don't think we can overlook the value of that, especially in these uncertain times where it's easy to say, you know what, I'm working from home. Let me just hit the snooze button one more time.
Right.
And I think that's key. So, Tom, tell someone how they can set up a laser solution session, because we've talked about that and we've said how marvelous they are. What's the easiest way for someone to set up that free or complimentary session if they've never done one with one of us before?
Sure.
Do you have an easy answer for that? Is that a complicated answer?
I don't know. I'm not sure I have I'm trying to think about what the right answer is. That's the challenge.
Well, I was going to suggest one way to do it, but I looked at that way and it doesn't work right now. It would cost money to do it that way. So I'm trying to figure out how we can do it free. But I guess we'll post that.
We'll post it in the chat here, just as a reminder that everybody who's a member of the Ring of Renegades has an opportunity for a free laser solution session. And I think that it's something that I think you will benefit from, hopefully.
So, Tom, what's that one thing? We've covered a lot of ground today. Consistency. We're talking about consistency, empowering others to support us, to help us build our business. What's that one thing that we can take to the bank today and cash, and it's going to help us be better off? Oh, I like that. I like that. Take to the bank and cash. I got to save that one.
Okay. I have to think about that. I don't know. I've got a bunch of them running through my head, but I'm going to go with something that I'm not sure we 100% talked about. We kind of talked around it. Because if we're really empowering others, I think the way we empower others is we are consistent around them. And we are with a consistent group of people. I think the more you are with a group of people, you're consistent in front of them, you empower them. They now understand who you are. I think the other thing is that the more you're around a group of people, you sometimes realize it's not the right group. Good people, do great things, have nice business, whatever. Just not. And those groups, I think, through our lives change. So if we are consistent about finding a group and finding where are those strengths that are about us, so that we come across as this is who we are. Will help us move, and then be not only an advocate for us, and also they will be someone who is there when we have a question to ask, to try to help us when we're stuck. That would be my one thing. That might have been a couple of things, but that's all right.
That was awesome. I love it. Love it. That was great. And it's so crystallized where we are. So, Tom, why don't you wrap us up today? We've covered a lot of ground.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, everyone. Again, this is today's Antidote. We're here every day. Tomorrow, we are 200th episode. It's so hard to even fathom saying that. And it's true. So tomorrow will be our 200th episode. And if you're not a member of the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, because we're broadcasting this out and about, you can join us. Just go to Facebook. I was going to say the Facebook. Go to Facebook and search for Ring of Renegades. It's a private group.
I love it, the Facebook.
Yeah, it's a private group where you can come in and share. We have conversations like this all the time. People share what their challenges are, share their successes. It's a great community where I think if you join us, you'll find others that you can empower to help support you. The other thing is, obviously, we'll be back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time.
I also put up another comment.
Yeah, I see that. I was like trying to figure out what I was saying, and this comment popped out. So
it's worth sharing. Read that comment out loud, Tom. No, you can do it.
You two have been doing this a while now, but didn't think it would be of value for me. No reason. Seeing you come on daily for months, and this morning, they are on here all the time. I'm going to check you out. So glad I did.
That's from Carrie.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thanks, Carrie, for that message. Yeah, I'm sure people probably wonder, what are these two guys doing? Anyhow, hopefully you gained some information and knowledge and perspective, and that'll help make what's real for you be influenced. So we are going to wrap it up. Again, we will be back here tomorrow, 8 a.m. for our 200th episode. So we will see you inside the Ring of Renegades or back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Have a great day, everyone. And we're going to exit out with a little promo about something we've got coming up at the end of the month. Take care, be well, and we will see you tomorrow for another episode of today's Antidote.
See you, everyone.
What's your next destination? 2020 was a challenging year for business owners, leaders, and nonprofits. Whether it was a boom, a bust, or pivoting to something new, on December 31st we will have reached a destination along our pathway. Now it is time to chart your next destination with new knowledge, experience, and perspective. Given all that has happened this year, are you clear on what is real for your audience? What to say, how to say it, and where to say it. No matter how your year went, being clear on these things is critical. Yet setting long-term goals during these times is challenging and confusing. Who can predict what things will look like in a year or 6 months? Charting our next destination provides focus, clarity, and direction. On December 28th to 31st, join our workshop where we will help you identify what your audience needs, how to speak to them, and where to find them. Can't make one day? Don't worry, it will all be recorded and available early afternoon each day. This interactive and collaborative effort will have you ready to take your next step. Register now and jumpstart your 2021. Chart your next destination and your unique pathway to success.